Scientists made a major breakthrough in fear research when they found that information from our senses reaches the amygdala almost twice as fast as it takes to get to our frontal lobes. The speed of the different brain signals means unless we instinctively know how to react to a potential threat, we may freeze in fear, waiting for the frontal lobes to catch up to figure out the right response.
Part of what happens with fear and panic is the unknown, is not knowing what to do next, and so your brain essentially freezes the way a deer freezes in the headlight.
So the amygdala may get very fast signals about fear, but sometimes they're wrong, and quickly the situation may say to you, no, it's not a fear situation, and you're not afraid. So these very quick amygdala signals that you get can be controlled in sort of a top-down way.
This is where the Navy's training comes in. It teaches recruits to minimize that delay by generating fast, accurate reactions to situations.
Hands up, you too.
Hands up.
Come on, guys.
With demand for special forces increasing, the Navy continues to develop brain training techniques to see if they can improve the pass rate. But there are some fears that scientists believe are pre-programmed into our brains. Primal fears, or super fears, that few people can overcome. The Navy makes its trainees tackle these head-on. It's why their most dreaded exercise happens underwater, as recruits face the fear of drowning.
There's almost nothing more scary than not being able to breathe.
As a result, it's almost impossible to control the brain's overwhelming impulse to surface for air. And it's why recruits struggle so much to pass the underwater pool competency test.
Pool comp is a very important milestone in their career here. They're being tested how they can deal with fear underwater. And there is controlled harassment, planned harassment projected at them underwater, and we see how they can cope with that.
Students must spend up to 20 minutes underwater, enduring repeated attacks on their breathing equipment by an instructor. Half of the time, they are without air.
Their air is shut off, their breathing hoses are wrapped around in difficult positions, and they need to respond to those problems with a series of emergency procedures.
Step-by-step instructions for untangling their gear are drilled into the recruits' heads beforehand. They must follow these to the letter. But putting theory into practice isn't easy.
Go down the bottom and the instructors, they come down, they'll start attacking you, taking your mask off, just creating all this stress, and the more that stress builds up, they want to see how you'll handle it.
As the trainee begins running out of air, his brain's amygdala pushes the panic button that urges him to surface. His frontal lobes must win this battle in the brain if he's to stay in control.
Physically, it's very challenging. You have to hold your breath for longer than you normally would. The instructors just take you kind of to that breaking point to see how you respond.
No sooner has the candidate untied one set of knots than his instructor is back attacking him again and again.
The more the stress builds up, they want to see how you'll handle it. Will you want to go to the surface and get air, which you want to do, or will you take the little air you have and all the problems and solve them and do what's necessary in order to pass the test?
More SEALs fail pool comp at this stage in their training than anything else.